Literally, the freaking neighbor needs to come out exactly when I press record. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until he leaves. I'm just gonna wait. Let's pop open some booch. All right, I've talked about this a million times already. We're gonna talk about organize versus gather again, and hopefully in like a slightly different way. You know, when a topic like this comes up, I'm like, oh, let's do a deep dive, and I'm gonna try to funnel every single thing that I think about it in one freaking video. I'm not gonna do that though, because then it'd be too long, and I won't do it. This is just gonna be a chat. I was planning my day, as a planner does, as an organizer does, and I was trying to remind myself that one thing I always underestimate is, I swear to God, if he turns the lawnmower on. You know what? Honestly, I prefer that the lawnmower was on because now I know that he can't hear me. All right, dude. Okay, so I'm going to talk about organize versus gather and how to apply it in a very simple way, a simple framework on how to apply it to your life, like day to day. And how I personally do it, that's where I got the idea from. I was like planning my day as an organizer does, and I was like, you know what? I got to do this OE shit. So OE is gather, OI is... Do I have to explain this shit to you? Everybody knows this, right? Like, my audience is small enough and everybody's familiar with objective personality that you know this already. So I'm not going to give the full overview. Maybe I'll pop it up on the screen right over here. All right, so I am an OI savior. I was thinking about how that impacts my life. So as a double observer with OE and OI in the middle, this is not gonna be like my biggest thing. It's not the biggest thing that's gonna screw me up, okay? But it still does a little bit. I have to be mindful of making sure that I am doing OE. And what the hell does it mean to do OE? And what the hell does it mean to do OI? Like, what does it mean to gather? What does it mean to organize? And a simple way that you can think about it is that OI, is it too bright? This is gonna be such a bitch to edit. So how do you go about your day, your week, your month, your life to make sure that you are not disregarding a key part, a key strategy in life? OI is trying to benefit from everything that stays the same. And OE is trying to benefit from anything that changes. And there's a few different ways of looking at this. So let's go through this table. What is the OI delusion? The OI delusion is that you think already, you know what the source of your good outcomes are going to be. Take an example of like, we're going into the city, and what an OI savior would typically ask, especially sleep first and consume last is the worst in this, is that, where are we going? Who's going to be there? How long are we going to be there for? What are we going to eat? It's just like, dude, we'll go there and we'll see what happens. We'll see. That's typical OE, like we'll see. Even if you answer all their questions and they're like, okay, that sounds good. It's like they're under the delusion that they know where the outcome is going to be good. That they can predict what is going to make a good day. But the reality is that you don't, because you haven't experienced everything. On the flip side, the OE savior will not invest their time and resources well. They're not asking those questions well enough. Like, all right, so I don't want to do like a super deep dive right now in this, even though there's so much I can say about this topic. But what is OI? OI is benefiting from the known, like known information, known experiences, and OE is benefiting from unknown, chance, new things, randomness. A simple thing they can do as you're planning your day, your week, your month, and of course everybody plans things, I'm pretty sure, is that for the OE savior, are you benefiting from a prediction or a process? An example of that would be just like you have a routine, you have a gym routine. And so like you know that works. You know if you go to the gym, that's gonna pay out. And so that's a simple way that you can benefit from a process. Or benefiting from a prediction. It's like you think like a narrowed down prediction. And let's say you have a conviction. It's like, I really think things are gonna pan out in this direction, and I'm gonna invest to make sure that I will benefit when and if that happens. As an OI savior, one thing I will try to remind myself to ask, even on a daily basis, am I putting myself in a position every single day that will benefit from just randomness, from chaos, from chance, from luck? It's so weird to be like an OI savior, because like literally if I look back on my life, everything significant or good that has come from it is from complete random chance. Like the job that I have now that I really value, just some random person hit me up on LinkedIn. Literally in my life, OE has paid out so much more, just like random chance and luck, and yet I don't have faith in it for some reason. So anyway, real simple version. Again, as I mentioned, this could literally be like hours and hours long, but just keep it really simple. If you're OI savior, put yourself in a situation where you're going to benefit from randomness. Like, talk to that random person. Another example, I was gonna go meet some friends last week, and I just stopped by this like outdoor food stand thing. And initially I was like, oh man, this is not part of the diet. I've planned to have dinner already. And so I was like, no, I shouldn't go. But I was like, F it, I'm gonna go. And I go and I get my little food and I sit down at a table and then spark up conversation with like these people next to me, and then other people like join the thing, and it was like a whole little thing. I was like, wow, I never like it boggled my mind a little bit. I was like, how could I have predicted that walking into this random food stall would make this day so much better? But the thing is, you can't. That's like not something you can recreate. It just happens, and you just have to put yourself in positions where you are that there's at least a chance of it happening. I'm preaching to the choir for everybody who's OE. Like they get this in a very deep level. And then advice to the OE saviors. It's hard to say because like literally, honestly, I think OI is so trash and that you literally don't need it. But okay, what would I say? Okay, so this is a mistake I see OE saviors make. They might have a prediction, right? So like, let's say it's NI. Like they might have a narrowed down prediction. So my mom, for example, was booking a flight to see my sister, and she is like figuring out whether she should buy the ticket or not. And then the ticket prices go up, and she's like, "See, I knew the ticket prices would go up." I was like, "Did you? Then why? If you knew it, why didn't you buy the tickets then? Right? Clearly, you did not know it, or you didn't know it enough, or you didn't believe in it. Because if you did, you would have had the cheaper ticket, but you didn't." It's not enough to just predict like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I told you so. You actually need to benefit from the investment, right? That's what it means to invest. It's like you put your resources down, and when the prediction happens, in the case of NI, when the prediction happens, you have a come up. But the actual strategy that you employed was like, oh, let's see, we'll see. We'll see didn't pan out in that situation. And so to quickly summarize, right? So OE is like expending resources because you're like, oh, we'll see. Let's just like put out resources and see what comes back. And then OI is resource sparing because let's invest in what we know might happen. Let's invest a little bit more resources in a narrow set of options. So when the payout happens, it's much bigger. And obviously you need to do both. The OE saviors will kind of get into this thing of like, they'll put energy into things that are never going to pan out, or the outcome is going to be very low. You need to have some kind of thesis about the future or some history about the past that there is going to be a good outcome from rolling the dice in this area. Should we talk about the letters? All right, let's just do it. The other thing I've noticed is that people who have like a given axis, if you're in the SE and I axis, you will also have a blind spot or a disinclination towards SI and NE. And same goes to the other axis. So I'll see that with myself. So like I was playing football, soccer on a team, and this guy who's really experienced, he's like, follow this specific sensory rule. Just follow this rule of make sure between the goal and the offense, there's a person, there's a defender, always. I don't like this rule because I'm like, oh, I'll react. I see how he's playing. I'm going to predict it. Like, I hate the idea of just like, no matter what, just follow the rule. And last week I was playing and I like intercepted the ball as it was going to the guy. And I was like feeling good about myself. And he's like, that's good. You sniped the ball. But like, if you had missed it, that would have been a goal. And so what is that? That is like SI, even though the guy probably is SE, he's just like gathered so much experience, he's come up with certain rules. That you're benefiting from a specific sensory process of a rule that literally I can write down. And what does that do? That's resource saving. So like you don't have to run back and forth. And then when you have more energy, then when you really need to run, you can do it because you have energy saved up and you can invest that energy. Sure, expend all your energy, but do it in the areas that are going to pay out. And there's no need to expend energy when you already have a narrowed down process that both saves energy and has shown to have a good outcome. I'm not going to go down every single list, but like another thing you'll see with the NE saviors is they'll have a theory of like, oh, I think this would work like this and this and this. It's like, bro, just go and try it out, like, and gather the sensory experience of like, try this and say that and do that and see how things pan out. Like, why are you doing in theory what you could just gather in physical sensory, expend some energy? That's a little bit vague, but hopefully you'll get that. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Let's hope this is not fucking trash to edit. This motherfucker is doing yard work literally all fucking day. Now it's the fucking leaf blower. You know, cutting the grass I understand, but like blowing like a couple of leaves off the thing, what what does it matter?